What's up guys, Kevin here with TLD. For those of you that don't know, right now is E3, the big press conference for all the major gaming companies. Microsoft just went up first and they just finished, and I have to say it was a pretty weak conference overall. Now don't get me wrong, the conference did have some strong points, mostly in the form of gameplay for some games that we already knew about or haven't seen actual gameplay of yet, like Halo 4, Splinter Cell Blacklist. We did get a little bit of Call of Duty Black Ops 2 at the end, and one that I was actually pretty happy to see is the new Tomb Raider. Now aside from these few small parts where they did actually show new gameplay, the rest of it was basically teaser trailers for games we already knew about, new teasers for games that we haven't heard of but didn't really tell us anything about them, and then a lot of emphasis on a lot of casual stuff. First off, while the Kinect wasn't the centerpiece like it was the last two conferences, it was still mentioned just about every other sentence. Every game they showed off was always better with Kinect, with, you know, this little voice command or this little addition. Even though it wasn't as pushed as hard, there was this subtext that was going along the whole time. Not only that, but Microsoft somehow decided that it'd be a great idea to dedicate a whole 6 or 7 minutes of their press conference to just having Usher dance on stage. It's really awkward and honestly just seems entirely out of place for E3. It's almost like Microsoft views it as some kind of award ceremony where they need to have performances and some way to really kind of get people energized without actually giving us any real substance or information. Now, of course, the whole focus for Microsoft's conference wasn't just on the games. They did end up going a little more in depth on some of the new additions they're making to the Xbox dashboard. First off, they're having a little more integration with a few more forms of watching television, including access to Machinima and Univision for all of you telenovela fans. Now, the two big non-gaming announcements that Microsoft really pushed was the addition of Internet Explorer to the Xbox dashboard, as well as a new mobile app called SmartGlass. Basically what SmartGlass does is it allows you to turn your iDevice or Android tablet, Android phone, whatever, into a new companion device to go with your Xbox. Some of the main examples they showed off were the fact that you could start watching a movie on one device and then watch the rest of it on your television through Xbox. Now the main idea is that how it would actually help accent the Xbox itself. For instance, while watching a movie, your iDevice can also display things like cast notes for the movie, little production notes, things to let you know the history behind the development of the film. It would also do things like give you additional controls in certain games, like entering plays for Madden. A lot of just little things about how Microsoft wants to try and integrate iDevices and tablets and the whole mobile generation into their gaming system, which in my opinion is a really smart idea for them, because unlike Sony and Nintendo, who are really trying to compete against the mobile market by having their own handhelds, their own touch devices, adding apps to them, Microsoft's just accepted them and is trying to find ways to integrate them into their own pre-existing system. Now, whether or not this idea proves to be actually successful, we'll have to wait and see once it's actually released. Now, some of these new announcements aside, overall I will say the conference was pretty lackluster. There just wasn't a whole lot of anything new or anything surprising. What new game announcements we did get were barely touched upon, like the announcement of a few new games and properties like Matter, which would be used with the Kinect, and another one called Ascend. Both games had interesting little teaser trailers, but we don't really know anything about them other than the fact that they're coming out and they have names. Now, this is just the start of all the E3 press conferences. We've still got Ubisoft, EA, and Sony later today, as well as Nintendo tomorrow. So now that Microsoft set the bar pretty low in my opinion, it's time to see what these companies can do to really try and show them up. Make sure to stay tuned for the rest of today and tomorrow and later this week as we cover more of what's going on in E3. And if you haven't yet, make sure to follow me on Twitter at TLD_Kevin, where I'll give you guys my up-to-date reactions to what's going on at the conference. As always guys, thanks for watching our videos. If this is your first time seeing us, feel free to subscribe. And if you would like an easy way to help out the channel, make sure to hit that like button, and I'll catch you guys later with more E3 coverage.